We got a lot of news to cover today, so we're going to talk a little bit about the inflation fears that came out this morning, and we're also going to talk about NIO. But before we get into that, we just hit that sub button. That's all we ask.
Yeah, so we knew for a while that these numbers were going to come out, all the inflation numbers. Consumer prices jumped 5% in May, which is the fastest pace since the summer of 2008. So that's no good. And then there was a 3.8% rise in core inflation rate, which excludes food and energy prices. And that was the sharpest increase in nearly 3 decades since 1992. Also, no good. Like I said, we knew these numbers were going to come out, and we knew they were going to be no bueno. So that's why I thought the market was going to be down today. Last time I looked, it was heading down, but I was surprised that this morning it was up. It was like the Dow was up over 0.5%. I was pretty surprised, but I think last time I looked, like I said, everything was dipping. But so used car prices helped drive much of the inflation gains, and so used cars and truck prices went up 7.3% on the month and 29.7% in the past 12 months.
That's ridiculous.
That's just insane. Yeah, and a quick little side thing about that. So I have a boat, and people during COVID were selling their boat at like a crazy inflated rate. And then so they could buy, say you had a 21-foot boat, you would sell it for the same price or more than the next boat up, say a 25% boat. So everyone was, or 25-foot boat. So everyone was selling their smaller boats for the same price of a lot bigger boat, and then they would just order the bigger boat. Like it's nuts.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I even thought about selling mine for a little bit and upgrading, but yeah, I didn't want to, because then the wait time usually, like when I had mine built, it was 3 months, and now they're like backed up over a year, just because it's insane. Like the new boat lots are like all sold out of everything. They're slowly starting to get back, but yeah. 29.7% increase is just ridiculous for like used car or truck.
And look at these prices on wood. So we have this Lowe's page pulled up, and you can see that looking at these prices, I mean, you're paying for a piece of plywood anywhere between $30 and prices all the way up to almost $90, like $68, $70, $86. Like depending on the piece of wood that you're getting, like obviously certain wood is more expensive, but the amount of just like severe weather plywood, $78, $76. Like, that is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I know I went to Menards last night to get some more mud for my basement, and I saw the 2x4s, and 2x4s were $12 at Menards. $12 freaking dollars. I paid $6 for them 3 months ago.
Right.
And the fact that, like, this is not getting any better is very worrisome.
Yeah, and you said that, they had stacks of them. It's not like there was a shortage.
Yeah, it's you see they're stacked along the wall. Yeah.
So that's just insane. But the gasoline index is also up 56.2% over the last year, which is part of an overall 28.5% increase in energy during that period. So that's just insane.
Right.
And then the jobless claims came out with this. So the initial jobless claims totaled 376,000, which is a little bit higher than the 370,000 that was estimated. So it was a little bit higher, but not crazy. I did see a chart on this article, and it does show that the jobless claims and people signing up for unemployment are steadily going down, which is obviously good. That's what you want. So yeah, it's just we knew these numbers were coming out. I think a lot of people sold out a day or two ago because there was a couple red days leading up to this news. So I think that's why it's not as down as far today as I was expecting, because we knew these numbers were going to be bad. There was no surprise. So I think everyone already just sold out a couple days prior to this coming out.
So with all that inflation stuff out of the way, let's just go ahead and talk about NIO. So NIO came out today, announced actually some pretty big news, honestly. Like I would expect the market to, NIO to kind of react with this, but it really didn't. But NIO is planning to launch a newer low position brand that insiders of NIO are calling a sub brand. So think of it like this: NIO is Cadillac, and then you're going to have this new sub brand as Chevy, or even somewhere in that lower range. Yeah. They said the ET7 is going to compete with the BMW 5 Series, and that they're going to launch a newer car in the future that is going to compete with the BMW 3 Series, which potentially means a cheaper car.
Yeah,
which means
makes sense.
Entering mass market.
Yeah, it would have to be cheaper. So that is good that they confirmed that they are making a cheaper car. It's still not going to be, you know, $30,000. It's still probably going to be over 40,000 for sure. But I mean, at least they're heading in the right direction.
Still,
and getting confirmation that they're actually making, you know, a cheaper brand is also good, because that means, you know, obviously they're going to make a car, you know, relatively, hopefully here soon in the future, that is going to be for the mass market.
Right.
Again, just moving in the right direction in my eyes.
Right. I mean, it's true. They did say that they're thinking about entering the mass market, but William Li did say, he did come out and say during their quarter 4 earnings back in March that it is a possibility to make a new brand to enter the mass market, but NIO will not be the brand to do so. So they're not making NIO the mass market brand. That's going to be the Cadillac. That's going to be the one-off, it's the more expensive brand, the luxury brand. But they said that he did go on to say, he says, we are actively looking at ways to enter the mass market more aggressively, which is a long-term strategy for us. So they're, again, like you said, they're talking about it, which is good, and it's going to be a long-term thing. It's not just going to be at the snap of a finger, hey, we're entering the mass market.
Yeah, I think they're going to have the ET7, and then, I don't know, ET whatever after that, that's the cheaper model, ET5 or 6, whatever. And then probably, I would assume after they release that one, then that's when they would do the next model that's cheaper under that brand.
Right.
So it still might, you know, it still might be a couple years, but
which this comes back to that Gemini that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. You know, the Project Gemini, which NIO did say that it's not going to be a lower position car. So to me, it sounds like that Gemini is still going to be in the NIO brand. But maybe, like you said, it could be that ET5 or something, or an ET3, or a little bit cheaper than the ET7.
Yeah, or if they are still going to do the EF9, I believe it was.
Or the EF9 is another possibility.
Right, which I think, you know, is heading in the wrong direction, but I know they've wanted to do it and they've talked about it before, so yeah, it could be that. We'll, you know,
listen, maybe NIO's got more high rollers than we realize, you know, wanting these expensive luxury cars.
Yeah, I mean, the profit margin on the more expensive cars, which we've already talked about before, is a lot higher than a cheaper car, so that, you know, gives them more money to expand and R&D and everything else. So, yeah, I mean, but it sounds like they're going to, you know, their lineup of cars is just going to be growing and growing. You know, they have the 3 SUVs now, and then the ET7, and then whatever the other cheaper model is to compete with the 3 Series BMW. And then the cheaper model after that. So they're going to have a bunch of cars.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and look at the stock real quick on the day and show you guys what it's doing for the day right now. So right now it's about 12, just a little after 12 o'clock on the East Coast, and it's down about 1% on the day, which we finished just negative yesterday as well. So a little bit of a pullback. I'm not too concerned here because, you know, we've had massive green days in the last 2 weeks. So we've got to have some kind of pullback. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't start pushing this $41 mark, because that's the borderline that we were talking about before. Once we hit that, it pulls back. But then again, we did see it pull up past the 40, you know, way past 41, and then it pulled itself all the way back. So hopefully we're not seeing this again, because that would be real unfortunate. It's shaping up to look like that, but we're not going to say it is. It's either going to bounce off the 41 and go to the moon, or it's going to go back below, and then we may possibly see the 30s again.
Yeah, I don't want to see the 30s again.
I don't think anybody does. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys like this kind of content, hit that like, share, notification about all that good stuff down below. And we also got links in the description and in the first comment of the section that get you guys access to the Webull, where you guys open an account, you guys get a free stock. And then if you deposit $100, you guys get 2 free stocks. And then you also got a link down there for the merchandise, and we got a link down there for the Patreon that gets you access to Discord. So again, thank you guys so much for all your support, and we'll see you guys in the next video.